Hello Vivites, a very good morning. This is Dr. Balu Kolar, MD in Ayurveda with several years of experience in research and development of wellness based products. And here today I am going to explain you all about a wonderful product from Indus Viva which is recently launched, the iSlim Flat Tummies Bar. Well, before I talk about the product, let me talk about the scenario of obesity and overweight in the society today. So this will be your first session actually. Well, let me talk about the scenario now. Well, as you know, India is actually gaining weight these days. You know why this is? Because the lifestyle diseases are those which are increasing in a country like India. Actually, 61% of deaths in India are due to lifestyle problems. You know, these lifestyle problems normally happen because of leading a sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle in the sense our food habits, our exercise habits, everything is hampered because of our work stress and pressure these days. And everybody is, going behind all kinds of adventures in their life without taking care of their health. And as I normally say in most of my presentations, that there are three important mission statements or three important objectives that what we talk of always. One thing is the wellness. Our important duty is to spread wellness across India as well as across the globe. Second thing is we want everybody to have a healthy living. So suppose if you have a healthy living, your whole village will be healthy, your whole taluk will be healthy, your district will be healthy, your state will be healthy, ultimately the whole country will be healthy, and the country's health is what we actually exactly want here. And apart from this, I was just talking about the scenario of lifestyle diseases. See, 61% of deaths in India is actually happening because of non-communicable diseases these days. Non-communicable diseases. I am talking about non-communicable diseases. You might have heard about communicable diseases all these days, right? Communicable diseases are those which spreads from one to other. For example, if someone has some kind of a fever in their house, another person can also get fever, suppose if his or her resistance levels are very less. Well, non-communicable diseases are those which do not spread from one another. And these are the major chronic problems of this country today. Well, if I have to talk about the non-communicable diseases, the major diseases includes the diabetes, the overweight and obesity, heart diseases, cancers and so on. Well, the treatment as well as the management of these diseases definitely will not be definitely will not be possible with the help of medicines actually. They can be done only with the help of wellness supplements. This is what I normally tell wherever I go actually. See, medicines can only be of some help to the patient, but wellness products are those which can bring about a holistic kind of support. Well, before I go into the scenario again, well, you should understand what this product is all about. See, normally I use these four definitions of our products wherever we actually go and present. The first and the foremost definition is our products are actually called as wellness products. As everybody knows, these are wellness supplements. Well, that is one part of it. The second part of it is our products are also called as alternative products. Alternative products in the sense, suppose if a person is actually having some kind of a medication, our products can also be given along with those medications safely. So in other words, they will not have any kind of side effects or adverse effects when taken along with other medications also. Our products are actually called as holistic products. Holistic in the sense it is a complete product. For example, if I have to tell you, people might think that iSlim Flat Tummies is a product which is only meant for reducing the weight and obesity. Well, if I have to tell you this, obesity is actually called as a metabolic disease or a disorder. In fact, I want to call this as a disorder which is actually a combination of various diseases. Obesity is not a single disease. A person might look lean, but still he or she might have the symptoms of obesity. This is actually called as a disorder. That is the reason why iSlim Flat Tummies is a holistic product which is not only acting on reducing the weight parameters, but it is also acting on reducing some of the symptoms of obesity in the body, so that the whole body is actually taken out of this paradigm of obesity completely. So this is how you have to tell our the definition of products are actually told like. Well, so this is about the scenario of obesity. So The next important thing is the communicable diseases. What I was talking about, the non-communicable diseases rather. The non-communicable diseases are very difficult to manage actually. It is not easy to manage. With the help of medicines, definitely you can go up to one level of managing those diseases, but with the help of supplements, what I can assure you is the disease will not come back again. Whereas in case of medicines, it can it can provide you some relief at that point of time, but later on the disease can come back again. So these things should not happen. So the wellness products will definitely not do this. It will actually act on the root cause of the disease rather than acting on the main disease itself. So this is the importance of the scenario of obesity. Well, the other important thing I wanted to tell you here is, I normally tell my patients that 19th and 20th century was all about infectious diseases. You might have seen all these infectious diseases happening in the world actually. For example, hepatitis B was there, plague was there sometime back in India, chikungunya which was actually a viral fever persisting in the whole of the country, wherein the people were suffering from some kind of a fever and the joint pains lasted for nearly 1 year. These were all infectious diseases which were communicable from one person to other. Whereas when you go into the 21st century, this is actually called as an era of metabolic disease. Metabolic disease is some kind of a very dangerous disease. It's a catastrophic disease which happens to the human body, and overweight and obesity are definitely a part of metabolic disease. Well, as I talk about overweight and obesity now, overweight and obesity are two faces of a coin. So people might think that overweight and obesity are one and the same. See, I want to tell you that overweight and obesity are different conditions, but both of them are coming under the main heading of metabolic disease. Well, again I want to tell you this, obesity and overweight are otherwise called as disorders. Disorders in the sense they are a group of diseases. They are not a single disease, they are a group of diseases. Well, the most important thing in this particular obesity, as people think, is anybody can become overweight, right? It is very easy to gain weight. Normally when people start eating all junk and do not do any kind of exercise, go here, there, do whatever fun, ultimately the body weight is the one which is going to increase. It is not going to decrease actually. Well, the decreasing part is a very difficult thing. Increasing part is always easy to do, whereas to decrease it, it requires lots of human efforts. But well, are people ready to involve in all kinds of rigorous physical exercises these days? Definitely not, because everybody is not equipped with a kind of a gymnasium or an exercise center or whatever in their villages or wherever they stay actually, and people do not have enough time to exercise daily. This is the most important thing. If they have time to exercise, definitely the weight can be controlled, but nobody today is exercising. They are all becoming lethargic and lazy, and this is the reason why the weight is not reducing easily. Well, I always tell this every time. We Indians rank third in obesity, followed by US and China in the world. So we have third rank in obesity, which is really bad. And the advantage that we have with us is we have slim flat tummies with us, which can definitely bring down this third rank at least to some 300th rank. Definitely it is possible. Okay, at least initial stages we can bring it up to 30th rank, then think about the 300th rank. Definitely we can do that. Well, so this is actually the scenario of obesity. Well, coming to the disorder of obesity, as I said previously, obesity is not a single disease. It is a disorder which is a combination of various diseases. Well, I always tell this example wherever I go. Normally during the festival times, we have this 1+1 offer, right? So buy one, get one free offer. See, when a person is increasing his weight, his or her weight, there is always a chance of person becoming diabetic also. That is the reason why I'm normally, I tell this a scenario wherever I go. Whenever you have overweight, diabetes is also given free. Suppose if you have diabetes, overweight is also free. This is what can, the two-way action which can happen. So these are the things which normally, happens with obesity is diabetes. Well, the second thing is cardiovascular diseases, very important. All of us have only one heart, right? And that heart has to be protected always. Suppose if you increase your weight day by day, there is a lot of pressure which is going to be put on the heart, by which lots of cardiovascular problems will happen. These cardiovascular problems can happen like the coronary artery diseases can happen, right? Ischemic heart diseases can happen, rheumatoid heart diseases can happen. So many valvular diseases are there in the heart which can happen because of overweight. Well, the third thing is people can in fact decrease their resistance and immunity when they increase their weight. So this is a real, the phenomenon which we are seeing on a day-to-day basis these days. Suppose if you increase your weight, your resistance levels are going to decrease. Suppose if you have fever or cough or a common cold in day-to-day life, normally it takes around 2 to 3 days to vanish. But suppose if you are overweight and obese, these small diseases will not be able to go out of your body for even 1 month or 3 months or 6 months probably. That is why increase in weight is always related to decrease in immunity. Well, the fourth thing is, one of the most important things which is happening in the world today is the intestinal cancers or the colon cancers. People who are putting on weight can have intestinal cancers or colon cancers in future. This is a very, very dangerous condition, and once this is affected, all your digestion parameters, all your metabolism parameters are affected, and ultimately the people will succumb to cancer. Well, the next thing is osteoarthritis. Normally when a person becomes overweight and obese, usually the joints in the body will inflame in the sense they will swell, and it will have severe pain as well. So this is actually called as osteoarthritis. The next thing is, all of us know we just have 2 lungs with us, right? And we are destroying our lungs every day by doing so many other things. So it might be some good habits, it might be some bad habits, right? And it also is because of all the pollution that is there around us. Well, how to keep your lungs well? That is also a very important thing. So we are not taking care of our lungs actually. Well, a person who is increased his weight definitely will have pressure on his lungs, and ultimately he will, he is prone to a disease like asthma, wherein there will be severe breathing problems. Well, apart from this, because of overweight and obesity is also caused because of blood cholesterol. I think you might be knowing this. Well, cholesterol has so many parameters in this. If you see a lipid profile report, there are so many parameters of cholesterol that you can find. So one thing is actually called as high density lipoprotein, which is nothing but good cholesterol. Always the good cholesterol should be in a higher limit, whereas the low density lipoprotein or the LDL is nothing but the bad cholesterol. It should be in a very lower limit. Also we have something called as triglycerides, which is a most dangerous thing in the body. Well, this is what I normally tell to people. Triglycerides are very difficult to take out of the body. Until and unless you exercise very well, keep your body fit always, your triglycerides will not go out of your body very easily. Well, this is the reason why the blood cholesterol, when it is increased in the body, definitely you will have heart troubles in the future, because the blood circulation in the heart will be blocked by this cholesterol. Ultimately the people will go for angioplasty and angiogram, and they will be using these stents inside the body as well, inside the heart as well, just to facilitate the circulation process. Well, apart from this, as everybody knows, we just have 2 kidneys with us, right? And we are also destroying the kidneys every day by eating all kinds of junk food and fussy eating things. Well, whenever a person increases his or her weight, the renal failure is also going to happen in the future. In the sense, the kidney failure cases can also happen because of increase in the body weight. Well, apart from this, we also have conditions like gouty arthritis, wherein the uric acid levels increase in the body. Well, whenever the uric acid levels increase in the body, there will be severe pain and inflammation and swelling in the small joints of the fingers and the toes, especially in the big toe and the thumb fingers. This will definitely create lots of excruciating pain in the patient, and they will not be able to lift the heavy weights as well. And these conditions are usually seen in people who are really obese and overweight. Well, apart from this, people also complain of low back pain. Well, this is actually a very important problem which is happening in day-to-day life these days. Suppose if you ask each and every person in this world today, they will definitely complain of low back pain, and low back pain is also one of the major symptoms of obesity. Well, apart from that, pregnancy related defects. Even pregnant ladies are also prone to obesity. Suppose if a pregnant woman or an obese woman becomes pregnant, there will be a lot of problems to the developing fetus as well. And apart from this, we also have this major complaint called as liver problems. Definitely. So all of us know that we just have one liver with us, and there is a condition called as fatty liver, wherein the excess fat that we eat goes and deposits inside the liver. Well, it is very easy to deposit the things inside the liver, but to take out of it is a very difficult task, and that is also very important condition of obesity. And last but not the least, persons who are having obesity symptoms are also prone to paralysis stroke. Whenever the blood circulation is hampered in the brain because of excess fat, a person can suffer from paralysis stroke. Paralysis can be of half, we call it as hemiplegia or paraplegia or hemiparesis or even quadriplegia for that matter. All the 4 limbs or a single limb or dual limbs can be affected with that. All these are actually the symptoms of obesity. Obesity is actually a metabolic disease or a disorder. It is a combination of various diseases and it is not a single disease. And I want to tell you Vivites that iSlim Flat Tummies Bar is not only a product which is positioned for reducing the weight, it is actually a holistic product which is taking care of your whole body and removing the obesity symptoms from your body. This is what the actual, in fact, the mode of action, the actual benefits of iSlim Flat Tummies Bar is. Well, apart from this, the most important thing is these days, even our children are prone to obesity. This is actually called as childhood obesity. Childhood obesity is actually a condition where children, especially above the age of 6 years, they have become fussy eaters these days. They don't eat all kinds of natural food that is made inside the house, cooked inside the kitchen. They always want these foods with processed fats which are made in the outlets. These are all the famous outlets that we have. Well, by eating all these, the junk food, the children are also becoming obese day by day. And this childhood obesity is a very, very difficult condition to cure, because once the child picks up the weight, it is very, very difficult to control the weight, as they do not exercise also and they will not be having any kind of control on the diet. The weight is going to increase as the age advances, and this should not happen. The childhood obesity has to be curbed in the childhood itself. It should not go into the adulthood. Definitely, if it goes into the adulthood, it is very difficult to bring it back. Well, this is also a very important thing. And apart from this, coming to the treatment options which are available for overweight and obesity these days, there are lots of prescription based medicines which are available for obesity. Vivites, that these medicines, in fact, they don't cut down your fat in a very proper way. In fact, they cut your fat in a very minimal time, but the side effects is maximum. The side effects can go up to, people in fact have gone for these procedures. Like there are lots of procedures, the surgical procedures that we have, wherein the fat is actually removed from the body. But the side effects are so much that the people have gone up to the level of, the deaths can also happen. People have in fact died because of these surgical procedures. That the post-operative care is not taken properly. The fat has gone out of the body. I am talking about both the good fat as well as the bad fat. This is also one of the important things that you people have to know, that there are two kinds of fat. One is a good fat which has to remain in our body, and the bad fat which has to be eliminated out of the body. See, everybody has good fat in their body. The fat which is found beneath your skin is absolutely good. Suppose if it is very cold outside or very hot outside, your fat is the one which is going to protect your body against the temperature. But suppose after these prescription medicines and after these surgical procedures, when the good fat is also going out of the body, definitely the person's resistance level is going to decrease. Definitely the person is going to succumb to death. So this is what is happening in the society today, and definitely that is the reason why I suggest you people not to go for all these kinds of surgical options as well as the prescription based products. Well, coming to the next part of the webinar, well, the diet restrictions is also a very important thing. Well, the diet restrictions, as I tell, diet is also a very important part in reducing the weight. Well, I always tell these two things wherever I go. Energy expenditure should always be equal to energy intake. Whatever the energy that we intake in the form of food, the expenditure should also be equal to the energy that we intake. This is what the formula is. See, I cannot eat just 2 idlis or 2 dosas or 2 vadas in the morning, or just 2 parathas in the morning and speak the whole day. I cannot do that, because my energy intake is very less as compared to the energy that is, it is actually expressed out. This is a very grave condition. Both of them have to match together. Well, in this particular context, I want to talk about some things about the diet patterns that is to be followed in the weight management process. Well, there are very, very minimal things that everybody can follow in their day-to-day life in order to reduce weight. These things can also be followed along with the intake of iSlim Flat Tummies Bar. Well, the first and the foremost thing is the carbohydrate and the starch content in your diet has to be very minimal. Well, all of us know that carbohydrates and the starch are bulky substances which is going to fill your stomachs, right? I think everybody must be knowing about this. Well, lots of carbohydrates should not be taken in a particular day. For example, rice contains lots of complex carbohydrates in it and starch in it. Even some of the vegetables, for example, your sweet potato, your potatoes, these things also contain starch in this. Even your wheat, normally people tell that even chapatis will reduce the weight. Definitely, wheat is also a carbohydrate, but again, excess consumption of wheat can also increase the weight. That is also there. It is not only a thing which will reduce the weight immediately. Well, whatever these carbohydrates are, you should consume them in a very, very less quantity always. It should not be consumed in more quantity. Well, apart from that, more dietary soluble fibers have to be taken every day. Well, this is one bad habit that everybody of us have, that we don't eat vegetables in a day. Normally, we don't like vegetables. Even small children are not eating vegetables every day. I am talking about raw vegetables. I am not talking about the baked vegetables. These raw vegetables are very, very good source of fiber that we in fact do not eat in a day these days. I always suggest you viewers that please have raw vegetables eaten every day. It might be your cucumbers, it might be carrots, beetroots, radish, right? These are the kinds of vegetables that you have to use in order to get more fibers in your body. And apart from that, I always tell this, use lots of fenugreek or methi, what we call fenugreek, in your daily diet, so that this actually controls the fat accumulation inside your body. And use a lot of garlic as well. Garlic is a very important vegetable which is scientifically proven to reduce the cholesterol content in the body. Well, apart from this, a person also needs optimum protein in the body. Proteins are normally obtained from the cereals and pulses, and of course from the non-vegetarian diet. See, non-vegetarian diet can also be consumed during the weight management process, but in relatively lesser quantity. You can also use a lot of proteinaceous substances like the soy proteins, right, with the help of soya beans, the green grams, the black grams, and so on. All these cereals and pulses will give you optimum proteins. I also advise you to use a lot of vitamins as well. Vitamins in the sense, I am not talking about taking vitamin capsules or tablets. You should not confuse with this. Vitamins are normally obtained through your food only, and apart from that, there are some vitamin drinks which are available in the market these days as well. You can consume them, which are actually the natural source of vitamins. And one more major vitamin I want to talk about here is the vitamin D, which most of us are deficient today. Please expose yourself to sunlight in the early morning every day, at least for 20 minutes. Definitely this will help you to absorb the vitamin D inside your skin, and nobody in this country will be vitamin deficient if this is done regularly. Well, and apart from this, I would also suggest you to consume lots of fruits and vegetables and more water consumption. This is the most important factor, that everybody has to consume at least 4 liters of water every day. One important way of consuming water is always try to consume boiled and cooled water, a lukewarm water rather. This will always help you to remove the toxins out of the body as the water becomes light. Suppose if you don't have this option, you can definitely continue with consuming the normal water up to 4 liters per day. And the last point is, I always suggest you to consume citric fruits. These citric fruits are those which can reduce your fat in a very less time. Citric fruits in the sense, you have this lemon, you have this oranges, right? You have musambis. All these citric fruits can reduce your fat along with the use of ice slim flat tummies bar as well. Whatever I have described you right now, all these points, you can follow this along with the consumption of ice slim flat tummies bar. Definitely your weight management process will be enhanced with these particular procedures. Well, apart from this, I was just trying to talk about the nutrition composition of a particular day's diet actually. See, I would like to tell you that the vitamins, I was just talking about this vitamin point actually. Vitamins are very hard to get sometimes. There are 2 types of vitamins actually. One is called as fat soluble vitamins, the other is called as water soluble vitamins. Normally, there are some vitamins which are available with your daily diet. For example, eat a lot of carrots, beetroots. You will get this vitamin A as well as beta carotene, and such things can be obtained. Always vitamin D should also be used in a regular, the sunlight is actually a source of vitamin D. Normally, do not go for all these vitamin D tablets, capsules, the injections and so on, which are less effective on the human body. Well, apart from this, I also suggest you to use a lot of minerals, because this is one thing that I want to tell you. Minerals are very deficient in today's diet actually. So what I suggest you is consume more and more of citric fruits in a day. Okay viewers, let me end this session here. In the next session, I am going to talk about the ice slim flat tummies product. Till then, this is Dr. Balu Kolar signing off from Indus Viva's desk. If you do have any questions, please log on to the Facebook page of Indus Viva Health Sciences Private Limited and raise your queries there. We will be happy to answer them. Thank you. Have a nice day.